Hello, good afternoon. This is David Sutter talking to you, and today is my weekly trade predictions for the upcoming trading week of September 27th through October 1st, 2021. Okay, and what I'll do here is I will look at all the major Forex currency pairs, just like I do every week, on a 30-minute time frame. Okay, and then I'm going to compare that to higher time frames, such as the 4-hour, daily, and weekly charts. Okay, and then based on my experience, I will try to give you my analysis of what I think is going to happen this coming week. Okay, so we are definitely rolling to the final week of the month, and this coming Friday is not the non-farm payroll, so you will have a very smooth trading week. There is very minimal high impact news, so I do expect a very good trading week this week. For the most part, just like you see on the chart right here, all the currency pairs are in a flat range of market. Okay, so that generally means there's a lot of indecision, a lot of fighting amongst the currency pairs. US dollar did want to sink a little bit, and I'll show you that here in a minute, but we also have some mixed signals with the US dollar, so mixed results. So anyhow, without further ado, if you look here at EURUSD, which I like to start with, okay, on EURUSD, like I said, we see a flat range of market. Okay, the price ended almost exactly where it began, right? It started here, ended right here. So we had a lot of ups and downs. If you keep a chart on a 30-minute time frame, like I recommend here for day-to-day trading, you have some good buy and sell opportunities, right? So, you know, just like I said last week, just keep your charts on 30-minute time frame. This coming week will probably be more of the same thing. If we look at the 4-hour chart, okay, let's look at the 4-hour chart here. Okay, 4-hour chart shows to go up. Now we know that EURUSD in the long run is going to be headed down. If you look at the daily chart, it shows to go up as well. So we already had a surge up and then a spike down. So the next destination is to go back up again. So we're already at a pretty strong level of support. But the weekly chart, like I said, the weekly chart shows to go down. Okay, so long term we're going to be dropping, so we can expect a short rebound, okay, to come back up. I did not expect any big gains with this. Okay, now if we go back to the 4-hour chart, we see it definitely wanting to go up. Now we're looking for a red arrow to form on the 4-hour chart, daily chart as well. But there's always that chance that we could have a blue arrow followed by a lower blue arrow with no red arrow in between. Okay, that has happened in the past, but you know, it's not always, you know, going to happen that way. Hopefully we'll have a spike up and we'll see a red arrow. If I mark this resistance right here, okay, it's a strong level of resistance. Zoom in a little bit so you can see what I'm talking about. Okay, we have a strong resistance right there. So that is ultimately where we're looking for a red arrow to form on the daily chart, and probably the 4-hour as well. If you go to the 4-hour chart, you see a red arrow right here already. So so what's going to happen this week? Okay, if you look at the 1-hour chart, it shows to go up. So like I said, 30-minute chart for the past week showed just a flat range of market. So I think we're going to see the price end higher, because if you zoom out here on the 30-minute, let me zoom out a little bit, okay, and get a bigger picture. Right, we see the price had gone up, and this is the same thing you were seeing on the 4-hour chart, just expanded right here on the 30-minute. You see the price went up, came back down, and then like I said, we had a flat range of market this past week from here to here. A lot of ups and downs, but soon it's going to go back up again. Okay, so this week you definitely can expect for the price to be escalating, starting to form an uptrend. Okay, so as we as we move into the month of October, we should see the price going back up, which is fine, but that would mean the US dollar would have to go down in order for this to go up. So it's all 50-50 right now. And the U.S. Congress is getting ready to push. Hopefully, they're going to pass a fourth stimulus. Okay, they're proposing like a 3.5 trillion, 1.5 trillion. There's a lot of numbers, maybe 2 trillion. There's a lot of numbers going around. what this stimulus package will incur, if they're going to include any like unemployment benefits or stimulus payments. That has not yet been finalized. Okay, still a lot of talks in the Congress. Okay, I do watch a lot of that stuff on YouTube, and I see a lot of bloggers just talking nonsense about this fourth stimulus. But until we really see something concrete, you're not going to see the U.S. dollar go into a deep surge. So my theory is that the U.S. dollar will probably drop some more, which will allow this to go back up. Okay, so this right here has been dropping. That means the U.S. dollar has been going up, and vice versa. So this should be getting ready to go up. Okay, so we go back to the 4-hour chart. We can see that, you know, this is getting ready to go into an uptrend. I don't know if it's going to go all the way back up to this red line or not. Probably not this week. It'll probably take another 2 weeks or more for this to come back up. So you should be safe to both buy and sell if you keep your charts in a 30-minute time frame. Okay, just keep in mind that it's going to break this resistance, and it's going to start going back up again. Okay, so anyhow, moving on to GBP USD. Okay, we see, like, again, we see almost the exact same scenario. Okay, but fewer buy and sell opportunities. But anyhow, the price ended almost exactly where it began, and more or less is in a flat range of market. If we look at the 4-hour chart, again, we see this getting ready to go into an uptrend. Okay, you had a spike up and pull back, and then prices can go back up again. So this coming week, I would probably look to be buying the Great British Pound more than selling. If you look at the daily chart, we see a similar pattern. Okay, we have a blue arrow and no red arrow. If we mark this resistance here, that was a real strong resistance right there. Of course, there's another resistance right here where we could look to see another red arrow form. And if we look at the weekly chart, we see that it's going down long term. Okay, and it's been showing that for quite a while now. So we know that this Great British Pound in the long term is going to drop, and that's going to take weeks, even months, before we see a long downtrend. Okay, but overall, yes, it will be going down. If you want to be kind of play it safe, you could put a sell limit, pin an order up in this area somewhere. Okay, probably around let's say 1.39. Okay, 1.3900. You could put a sell limit. Okay, and just keep that for future when it finally gets to that point. Okay, even 1.38, but that's kind of low. 1.39 would be about proper. If we look here on the 4-hour chart, 139 will put you right about here where this resistance is. So I would expect the price to rise to that level. Of course, that might take another week or two for it to finally reach that level. Okay, so you know, just be prepared that this is going to be a slow uptrend. It's not going to be like spiking up real fast. And of course, it's all dependent upon the U.S. dollar. If the U.S. dollar drops, this will go up, right? One goes up, the other one comes down. So we definitely got, if we mark this trend line right here going up, you see we got a perfect support line going uphill. So it's already touched that. So the next move is to go up. If you look at the 30-minute time frame, it has not formed a blue arrow, but it is very near. So like I always say, wait until at least the London session on Monday before placing any trades, because we don't know. The market is really sluggish, really slow when it comes out of this weekend slumber, if you will, over the weekend. So the market, you know, is dead over the weekend. So it takes a while to build some data and see what the market is doing. Okay, before the market really comes alive. Usually around the London session on Monday is when the market really becomes active and you can start trading. So anyhow, what we do for this week, yes, you can both buy and sell this week, but just keep in mind that this will be going up. If you want to be safe, you could you know, buy only. Okay, just up to you. Okay, it's your choice, but yes, we do have some good buy and sell opportunities. If you look in the past, now here we clearly had a downtrend. Okay, and if I mark, let's say I mark this one here, okay, because it dropped even more. You had a buy signal followed by a buy signal followed by another, right? If you look at the 4-hour chart, you see where this is marked, you clearly see that was in a downtrend. So you would want to sell only, okay? The 4-hour chart is showing to buy now. So if you keep it on a 30-minute time frame, that means you would want to buy only, okay, on the 30-minute time frame. And yes, we had some nice drop right here, so that would have been a really good sell opportunity as well. So we cannot always say that just buy only. You know, we do have a lot of good both buy and sell opportunities along the way. It's just that sometimes we have a massive downtrend like this where you would lose out if you were to, you know, if you were to place these buy trades, okay, in a downtrend. So just do keep that in mind, okay? We want to look at the higher time frames, look at the 4-hour to see which way it's going, okay, and then look at the 30-minute time frame and trade accordingly, okay? That's always a good strategy. Now moving on to Australian dollar, okay, the Australian dollar versus the US dollar. Okay, so here again we see a flat range of market, right? Good highs and lows, good buy and sell opportunities where the price ended, you know, pretty much exactly where it began. Okay, interesting, right? It's always kind of funny how that works out. It's almost like it's pre-planned, but anyhow, yes, we have some really good buy and sell opportunities this past week. If we look at the 4-hour chart, we see that it is wanting to go up, okay? It's not really going as an uptrend, it's just kind of riding sideways. But we have a high point here followed by a higher high point followed by a higher higher, right? Higher highs, okay? The lows are almost the same except for this one here. So that means, yes, it's going to start picking up and we should start seeing an uptrend form. If you look at the daily chart, again, we see an up arrow. And we have a high point right here. This is our resistance, okay, and we're looking for the price to hit that point, okay. Now if we look at the weekly chart, again, this is showing to go down long term, but that's in the coming weeks, the coming months, okay. Probably by December time frame, we're going into October. So October, November, December's next 3 months, probably by the end of the year, we see the price escalate back down. That's just going to take some time. And hopefully the US dollar will go up if they get the stimulus package approved, and we'll see the US dollar gain a lot more momentum, causing these pairs to drop, okay. But for right now, for this week, I think we'll start to see an uptrend form for sure. So, you know, keep your charts on a 30-minute time frame. If you want to play it safe, you could buy only. If you zoom out, this is just what I was showing you a minute ago, but you know, here it's good buy and sells right here, but clearly you were in a downtrend going here. Okay, now we're going sideways, and then the next is go back up. Here we had an uptrend, right? We're going sideways and back down. Go down, hit a low point, rotate sideways, go back up. Okay, it's just how it works. So we should see the price escalate back up. Whether or not we'll reach this high point again, you know, I can't tell you the future, but I'm feel very confident this will be going back up. And again, it's all dependent upon the US dollar. So yes, you can both buy and sell this week, but it looks like it's going to be going up. So if you want to kind of play it safe, you could buy only. Okay, I'll kind of leave that up to you. Moving on to US dollar versus Swiss franc. Okay, we saw this one drop and then ride sideways. Okay, what does that mean? Okay, well, if we look, it looks like the US dollar is dropping for sure. If we look at the 4-hour chart, we see here on the 4-hour that is wanting to go down. So that kind of confirms my theory. The price dropped, now it's riding sideways, and will probably drop some more. If we look at the daily chart, it shows the drop. We've got 2 red arrows in a row, but no blue arrow. So yes, it should. If you have like this, then the 3rd arrow should be the opposite color, which in this case will be blue, right? So we're definitely looking for this to be dropping. But US dollar has been pretty strong. It's been holding steady. And if we look at the weekly chart, it shows to go up. Okay, so we know long term the US dollar is going to go up, and hopefully they pass another, you know, 4th stimulus package, which will put more money in the economy. Okay, and that would drive the US dollar up even more. Okay, we don't know. I'm thinking Congress is going to extend it. Right now they're trying to raise the debt ceiling, okay, and there's a big fight on that in Congress right now, because the big fight about the debt ceiling. But if they don't pass this debt ceiling, the US dollar, I don't know what's going to happen, man, because the government will, what they call default, okay, and the government will have to shut down. So you're going to see a big drop in the US dollar. Go. If that happens, good Lord, we're going to see this drop a lot. So, and which would fall in line, you know, that would fall in line with the signal right here. So I would count on the US dollar dropping, okay. I would not count on it going up right now. Maybe in the next few months we'll see the US dollar really escalate, but for right now, I think because of the 4-hour and the daily show to sell, I would expect this to be dropping. Okay, so you keep your charts on a 30-minute time frame, and I would probably look for sell opportunities only. Right now we're in the middle of a sell already. Okay, so you can see that it's clearly, you know, it's riding sideways. It's not dropped a whole lot. It dropped a little bit and then just kind of just sitting there, right? So it's going to drop more. So if you want, you see this kind of resistance right here, I could mark that. You could put a sell limit pending order right in here and wait for it to drop. Okay, now with this being the US dollar, I always recommend on Mondays to wait until the New York session on Monday just to see what the US dollar is doing before we go placing any trades. Okay, and so yeah, so keep your charts on 30-minute time frame. You can both buy and sell, because you know, we look in the past, we've had some good buy and sell opportunities both, but like I said, I think we're getting ready to go into a downtrend. I don't know. It's not looking really hopeful for the US dollar. We will see, but you should be able to both buy and sell. If you want to play it safe, I would probably sell only, because it's, like I said, we had this big uptrend here and then it's going back down again. Okay, so how far will it drop? We don't know. Okay, 4-hour chart shows the drop, and that's going to take another week or two. I would probably say 2 weeks before we see another blue arrow. Okay, this week and next week, probably sometime next week we should see a blue arrow form. So it's going to have to drop a ways for that to happen. Okay, we have a blue arrow here, followed by a higher blue arrow, followed by a higher blue arrow, wherever that will be. Okay, but this week we can expect it to drop. Okay, moving on to US dollar versus Japanese yen. Now we see a different scenario, and this is why I always say the US dollar or Japanese yen, USDJPY follows kind of different patterns from the US dollar or Swiss franc, right? So this one definitely gained this past week, which is interesting. It actually shocked me because I thought it was going to drop, but it surged, and that's okay. The 4-hour chart was already showing to go up, but now we shift the chart over. Now we hit a strong resistance, okay, on the 4-hour chart. So this is a very, very fresh signal, right? So we can expect it to be dropping here this week, okay, which will fall in line with, you know, what's going on with the other currency pairs. If you look here on the daily chart, it shows the drop anyhow, and we're already at a pretty strong resistance right here. Okay, so we're definitely at a strong level of resistance. You have a high point here, high point here, high point here, there. So a lot of high points, right? And so be prepared to sell. Okay, now the weekly chart shows the buy. It's been showing that for quite some time. Okay, probably for the last couple years, really. If you zoom out, you've had buy signals all the way back from 2016. Okay, and never formed a red arrow, but eventually it's going to form a red arrow. Okay, it's just going to be a matter of time before it goes up, and I think that we will probably see that happen by the end of this year. Okay, but anyhow, that's a long ways out. Okay, we're talking about 4 or 5 months down the road. We don't know. So for right now, I would definitely expect this to be dropping. All right, the 4-hour chart shows to sell. Now we did have a very sharp spike up, which very possibly it could go higher. It could break that resistance, but you know, based on historical data, I would say it's going to be getting ready to go into a downtrend. Okay, so what do we do this week? On keeping charts on a 30-minute time frame, and you can both buy and sell. I would probably look for sell opportunities only more. You see right now on 30-minute time frame, this has not repainted yet. Okay, now with this being the US dollar, like always, wait until the New York session on Monday before placing any trades. Okay, that way we can see it might just shoot up more. We don't know, and then this indicator could repaint. Okay, it's very possible. So I would definitely wait a while for this to drop. Okay, and then once it starts dropping and the indicator does not repaint, then go ahead and place your sell trade and close that trade when you get the next blue arrow. Okay, so and just repeat that process. So anyhow, moving on to US dollar versus Canadian dollar. Okay, last but definitely not least, the price ended almost exactly where it began, right? But if you see here, it's interesting, we have a sell signal followed by higher. So that kind of sucks if you sold right here. So again, let me mark this, kind of show you, and we're going to compare this to the 4-hour. Oh, I was on the 1 minute. Excuse me. I was on the 1 hour. Anyway, okay, here on 30-minute time frame, we saw the price drop. So yeah, okay, that falls in line with what I was showing you before. So yes, definitely, price should be, well, I just screwed myself up. Anyhow, let me delete that. Alright, anyhow, back to the drawing board. So the 4-hour chart shows to sell, okay, and the daily chart shows to sell, and weekly chart shows to buy, which has been shown for quite some time. So yes, we should be seeing the US dollar drop this week. The 4-hour chart's already dropped quite a bit. Hit this support here, but I would expect it to drop even more. Look at the daily chart. It is going into an uptrend. If we mark this trend line coming up like this, I can clearly see this with my eyes. Okay, so I don't know. I'm looking for that trend line to break. Okay, if that breaks, you're gonna be able to sell for long term. Okay, and it's probably going to drop for a few more weeks. I don't know. If you look at the daily chart, or weekly chart rather, it already broke here before slightly, but I would expect it to drop back down. Okay, it's just my guess. The 4-hour chart is almost there now, and it will probably form a blue arrow here on the 4-hour chart and come back up, and then break it. And then I don't know if it went up, came back down, then it would break. Okay, so I have a bad feeling that it's going to break that support line going up. Okay, because we had a pretty big, good rally, good push going up for the past. This is back in the beginning of June. Okay, we hit this low point back in the beginning of June. So like July, August, and September, it's going up. Okay, with a lot of highs and lows in between, but it's definitely going up for the last couple months. So we probably most likely can expect it to be coming back down. Okay, if you look at the daily chart, there's no blue arrow, so I would expect this to be dropping back down. Probably would form a blue arrow. I don't know where, but we have a support right here. That's pretty strong support resistance right there, and that would probably be the most feasible spot. If this trend line breaks, it will drop down to that point and then go back up eventually. Okay, so this week I would look to sell. If you go to the 30-minute time frame, okay, the 30-minute time frame right now shows to buy. So we can expect it to probably the first Monday and Tuesday going into Wednesday. I would probably expect this to go back up some, and then by the end of the week it's going to drop back down and quite possibly break this trend line. I don't know. Okay, but I do think that the price is going to end lower than where it began. So we should have some good buy and sell opportunities both. Okay, with the fact that it's getting ready to be dropping, I would probably look to sell only. Okay, the price did drop, so we're probably gonna have another pullback and then drop some more. Okay, we have a support here. We notice we have a high followed by a much higher high and then a slightly higher. So the next blue arrow, I don't know if it's going to be higher. Probably will, but then again, no guarantees. Okay, but it's definitely looking like it wants to go into a downtrend now. Okay, and with the US dollar kind of being indecisive right now, I would expect the US dollar to be going down, especially if they do not pass this debt ceiling. Oh my God! So we're going to see the US dollar tank for sure. So just buckle up. Buckle up, because I think the US dollar is definitely going to be dropping this week. So look for sell opportunities only. You know, like I said, you can both buy and sell. You can probably buy right now, but to be safe, I would look for sell opportunities only. Okay, with the US dollar versus Canadian dollar. So anyhow, that will wrap up my weekly trade predictions. If you have any questions at all about this, or if you have any other currency pair not posted here, please hit me up on Facebook. You can contact me and we can go over that together one-on-one. I'll put a link below in the description of the video for my personal Facebook. Okay, please contact me there. Send me a personal message. Also put a link for my private Facebook group, which you can request to join, and then post any questions or comments in my Facebook group. Okay, so with that said, I hope you have a wonderful week ahead, and I look forward to working with you. Thank you so much.